So back to the first question. The first question was what was it? I said. So I mean, I guess like now that you kind of what's your life advice for the next generation?
Right.
And I
So,
was saying
yeah.
before it was a recording was
To basically be curious, be excited about something, and especially when you're young, pick a road. Doesn't matter what road, just go down that road and go down that road pretty hard. If it's something you like, you enjoy, just go down that road. It may not turn out to be what you want, but at least that's something you go, okay, that is not what I want to do.
Exactly.
I've had, I call it the opportunity to work in a place where I had to lift boxes. And I know that's not something I want to do. Right?
I had that opportunity too, and I see that's not what I want to do.
That's not what you want to do. So, but just basically, just pick something, be curious, and don't shy away for things that you think that scare you. If you say, hey, I want to be a cliff diver, it may scare you to be jeebies out you go, but you go, that's kind of exciting. Do it anyway. Right? Do it anyway. And you'll amaze, like, all of a sudden when you're doing it for, a couple of years, you go like, this isn't really no big deal. Never really was.
Yeah.
And the people who, who get accolades for it, some of them are worthwhile and some of them you think is, hey, you know what, it really wasn't that a big a deal. So that's essentially it.
I agree with that. Yeah, I don't know. You kind of just like, you do something that scares you and you lose the fear to do other things.
Correct.
But as far as like in accolades and stuff, it's funny. Like I know like a lot about music, but I went on stage to do comedy one time, and then that's what people are asking me about. You know what I mean? Like, because people are scared of that. Like, you know what I mean? They're terrified of that.
Stand-up comedy is one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah,
it is. It is
tough.
You can have a guy who tells jokes. He can tell 3, 4, 5, maybe 10. But but the ability to stand in front of completely, strangers.
Yeah.
And every once in a while I was joke about it, saying, I'm gonna do that. But for me it's just time. I would do it anyway. But I have to do it impromptu. I can't plan for it. If I'm gonna plan for it, I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna stew, and I'm in trouble. But I will actually like one of these days to just get up on stage and go, you know what? I'm just gonna tell you a story.
Right.
And then somewhere in that story is just a bunch of jokes.
Yeah.
It's how I have to do it. If you watch like David Chappelle, he is just masterful in terms of his cadence, his timing. He also has by the way, a good, excellent command of the English language.
Right.
That is important.
Yeah, he understands what words are nuanced a certain way.
Right.
You know what I mean? He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
Yeah. So he's masterful. But if it's done right, it's guys that do stand up comedy are not idiots. They're very intelligent people.
Right.
And you have to be. But if you're just telling jokes, that you memorize.
That's cool.
That's fine. You can make it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far you can get.
Exactly.
I think the comedians that last long are introspective.
Yes.
I think.
Powers of observation.
Right.
And just a detailed way of depicting those observations make them masters of the craft. I've spent years writing stuff at the back of my books, the school books, in the early days, about jokes and stuff like that.
Right.
And I know a few, but it is having the material is not the same as delivering material.
Yeah, absolutely.
And walking up the stage and there's there's 400 eyes looking at you.
Absolutely, because it's not even the jokes. It's like some comedians said, like the audience is like an organism. They feed off each other, and also it's like it's not about what I say. It's like you feel me. Like you're supposed to feel what I'm saying.
You got to connect.
Yeah.
You got to connect.
Yeah.
You got to connect with them. So
so
that's part of it. That's part of the deal.
Comedy's tough. So I didn't understand that because I was always telling people I was like, what? It's easy, and it's not. Of course, I was nervous going up there, but it's easy in the sense is because people are thinking in their minds like, I want to be funny. I want to be perceived as funny, and that's what's gonna get you booed. I think. Like I think you I went up there and I was honest.
Right.
I was honest. I gave my perspective. I didn't do anything like laugh at it or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's how you have to look at life.
Right. And it's confidence too.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing is, you probably went in there and you didn't care if you fail or not.
Yeah.
So that matters too. You'll notice that some guys, there's some guys that I've seen over the years, last even 30 years, who have actually become decent comics. But first when I saw them, I was like, you ain't gonna make it. Arsenio Hall. I saw him in the comedy club in the 80s. And he was semi-funny, and I didn't even think he's that funny, now. But he ended up with a show, made millions.
Yeah.
And
never really thought he was that funny. To be honest with you.
Robin Williams, of all people,
Oh yeah.
who had a knack for picking a word, and he can talk about that word for about 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And kind of make it funny and connect it with other things, but it's a craft that you have to learn. And you can't, like I said, do it half-ass. You still got to immerse yourself too.
Yeah, you're saying something about observation, and I thought that was true.
Did you?
Because like George Carlin, one of the things that he always said, he was just like, I'm not here to give you a solution. I'm not here to tell you. I'm here to comment on the way things are.
Yeah.
I was like,
powers of observation is actually very important. How you see things, and like I said, producing that material in a way that people can digest it is important too. Some simple sentences, simple ways of saying it. It's kind of like you come up with something and something in your mind, and then someone comes along and say it in a very succinct way. You go like, yeah, that's it. That's
exactly.
It. And then you never forget it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you have known that all along.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like someone that will, your dad will tell you something for years, then they'll open a Bible and they'll say the same exact thing your dad just told you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Those all-encompassing rules, and then you'll be like, oh man, now you want to get it because.
Yeah. Well, when dad says it, you ignore it anyway.
Yeah. That's just what kids do. Yeah.
But you listen to your friends. If your friends say, hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's the thing is because it's the relationship you have with your friends.
Right.
It is like everyone has an angle, but it's just like you just think like they don't or something. I don't know.
Right.
For some reason. Oh yeah. So I know I already asked you, but biggest regret. You know what I mean?
No. I wouldn't say I have a lot of regrets.
Yeah.
But the one that stands out to me is just things that I wanted to do that I thought could have probably moved me along a little faster, maybe to greater heights. I didn't have the fortitude to say, this is what I want to do at this moment in time, and I'm doing it regardless. And you look back on that, there's a price to be paid
every time
if you do that. Some people so you know what, I'm doing this regardless, and sacrifice their family, sacrifice their friends, and I wasn't willing to do that. But in retrospect, I should have found a way to do that anyway, because much of what I do is not for me. So I think the overall benefit would have been for others anyway.
Yeah.
And just standing up and doing it is just something that's like I should have done that when I could. My body can take being up for 18 to 20 hours and then get up the next day and do it again. For 2 years, right? That's what it takes to be an entrepreneur. That's what it takes to sometimes to succeed, just initially, and then once you have it figured out and all the details hammered out, you have a template and you can just move on. But now if I work for 5 hours, I need a nap. Right?
Yeah. If I were 5 hours, I need a nap. I mean, I was shoveling my mom's backyard. I needed a nap.
Yeah.
Well,
you're from a different generation. Yeah. They don't make people like they used to.
Right. I don't know. I mean, you're from the generation where people were like, my granddad built this beach house.
Correct. With his bare knuckles.
Y'all are bored, man. Nothing on TV. That's why.
Right.
Want to build something?
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah. He didn't use shovels. He just used his fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we didn't have shovels back then. That wasn't invented.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. What motivates you?
I think.
I mean, yeah. By the way, you can be honest. I mean, I know You can be honest with most of these questions because I mean I know I'm your son, but like you know.
Right. No. I definitely, you know me. I won't tell you a story.
Yeah.
I think I like new things. I like to do. I'm curious about
I'll just make sure. I mean, I know it's tiring, but like, just make sure. Like,
Yeah. I'm curious about what a mountain in New Zealand looks like, and if I see it in a picture. So just sometimes going there and just doing things in the world, which is one of the reasons of why I like the beach. 9 out of 10 times when you go to the beach, you go to the same beach and it doesn't look the same. 9 out of 10 times, the sand changes, the tide changes, the high tide is low tide, it's afternoon, it's colder, it's hotter, it's hazy, it's just different. So it's just enjoying different experiences is what motivates me. And sometimes you have to put in the work to be able to do those things. But I'm just curious about how things work, how where things are, why they're there. So I have a lot of I chase the why a lot. So I end up chasing the why.
So why and how things work motivates you.
Yep.
Okay. So remain curious.
Yeah. People say, well, I don't like bananas. Well, why?
Right.
Well, you don't like them because someone told you that bananas, potassium kills you.
Yeah.
Or you don't like the taste, you don't like the texture. Just say you don't like it. Just tell me why. I'm curious. What is it about bananas? Does it give you a rash?
Yeah.
Why? And then once you say it gives me a rash, well, tell me why.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean about like remaining curious. It's like a lot of people like I mean that as like a habit. They won't like even ask that to themselves.
No.
You know,
you gotta ask why.
And like how do you expect like to go through your life? Like I don't know, like you're just gonna be a consumer. Like,
Right,
you know what I mean? Like
right.
just by definition.
Right.
Like
and one of the things that I'm old enough now to see it. Obviously, there's a lot of people who are loud. They want they speak with certitude, but they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And those but they have charisma, and people follow them. But like you watch TV, you watch different channels, and people are saying things, and you go, did not fact check him before, or were they not in the meeting before and discuss what he was going to say?
Yeah.
Is it like that's just stupid? But there are people who absolutely believe every word out their mouth because of their position and because they speak boldly, they speak with confidence. Nobody gets to pass like that for me. No one. It's got to be fact.
Well, I don't know. I think Crystal asked me like something about you, and my answer was like, my dad's the kind of guy that a joke is said, and like my dad, like how some people just laugh because they want to laugh, like because like hey, everyone's laughing, like you're the kind of guy with a bull face right there. You're not gonna laugh if you don't think it's funny.
No, if it's not funny,
you're like you'll be at a comedy club and you'll just be like that if you don't like. I mean, even if you would think it's funny, you didn't really understand. Like you're not gonna just like laugh like
No.
You just don't do that, and whatever like the personality trait you want to link with that, like that's like my father.
Right. That's funny. That's funny. That's an interesting observation.
Yeah.
Because I have been to comedy clubs and literally sit at the front row with my foot on the stage.
Right.
And the guy goes, "Why are you at the comedy club looking so mad?" Because you ain't funny.
Exactly.
You're not funny.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny you said that. So I mean, I was a little spot on with that one. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. I know. No, I don't. Like I said, if you're not. If you're joking, about things or whatever, I can catch that. But if you're in a serious conversation and you were just spitting because you want to see what sticks to the wall and what you can get away with, depends on my mood. I wouldn't give you a pass on it. I was like, okay, and I'll start asking you questions like, so tell me, so the Earth is 4,000 years old. Do you know that there's a tree in Yosemite that's 8,000 years old?
All right. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then how do you square that?
Right.
And so how do I know this tree is 8,000 years old? Well, there's ways of measuring that. But how did you come up with 4,000?
Right.
Right.
That's true.
That kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
What made you want to come to America? I know these are good ones. And Crystal's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna come here and be like, "What's up?"
Yeah, exactly. No, in all due honesty, my father had called me. I was living in Barbados,
Yeah.
and I had just finished the equivalent of high school. It's called secondary school in Barbados.
Right.
And he called. He goes, "You want to come up for 2 weeks vacation?" I'm going like, "Well, it's kind of close to me starting my." I was going to something called, it was called a Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic, and I was going to be a mechanical engineer. I had signed up, I was accepted, and I was going to go to school, to be a mechanical engineer. But I had about a 3 or 4 week window before the class actually started. So I said, well, you know what? I'll come for 2 weeks vacation, and I'll just head on back. I came here and went to Disneyland. Went to Magic Mountain, and then Knott's Berry Farm, and Universal Studios, and every amusement park, and drove to Vegas.
Dang.
And before you know it was September 9th. And I came here May 5th, 1981.
Wow. Dang. Okay.
So the rest is history. But I didn't really have an intention of being here. And to be honest, the first 3 years of being here, between 18 and 21, I absolutely hated the place. Because when you're young, I left all my friends. We go to the beach every Sunday, and just it was like 9-10 guys. We all hung out.
Yeah.
Had a good time, and
Then you came here, and it was
like knew nobody.
Yeah.
So I came here, and I was living in Van Nuys on Sylvan Street, and which is like just down the street from the police station, and on both sides of us, there were Spanish people. There were some from, Mexico, were Mexicans, and there were some Salvadorians. So none of them spoke a lick of English, right?
Yeah.
Didn't have a problem because actually Spanish was my thing.
Yeah. Oh.
So they were actually fascinated that I could actually converse. And, and my father was always laughing, go like, "You're out there talking to those Spanish people? I've been here for 6 years."
Yeah, I don't see your grandpa really learning Spanish for them or something.
He wasn't learning Spanish. Yeah.
That's funny.
So I remember the guys. There was a guy, a Salvadorian guy, and there was Dagoberto. There was a Roberto one too, and Dagoberto, and there was I think Anna and Susie, and they thought it was fascinating that I could at least even converse, or even took the time or cared to converse in Spanish. Even though I would say I knew. My translation, I had the ability to say read a Spanish newspaper. I get the gist of what it says, but conversational Spanish is different.
It is.
Once they start rattling off words like okay, despacio, slowly.
Yeah. It's
for the most part, they would understand where it was coming from, and they would speak slower, and they would ask me a bunch of questions, and they thought it was they call me Colleen.
Colleen.
Colleen. Yeah. So that was good. That was the early days. 1981, May 5th, 1981. I came here on Eastern Airlines.
What
That went out of business.
Oh, actually, yeah. I haven't even heard of them anymore.
Yeah.
What movies were out like in '81? I don't know.
Tarzan.
Tarzan.
The Legend of Tarzan.
Like a live action one?
Yeah. Stuff is probably like Sigourney Weaver. Clint Eastwood had movies out too. Who else was big in '81?
I really don't know. I just know '80s was like a lot of like we were talking about Sylvester Stallone and Arnold.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe towards the back end actually.
Oh yeah. Maybe early Rockies, probably 83, 84. But I remember the music distinctly because I used to work in a warehouse, and
a lot of white people music.
Yeah, essentially. So there was a station called 95.5 KLOS.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's still. I think it's still around, but it was all rock and roll. You didn't hear any Michael Jackson at all on there, or Prince.
That's weird. I just figured I think it's different now, but
yeah.
Figured that they were playing everything.
Yeah. So it was Foreigner.
Van Halen.
Definitely Van Halen.
Yeah. Van Halen all day.
Panama.
Journey.
Yeah, Journey. Yeah. It's Stevie Nicks. ZZ Top,
All right. Fleetwood Mac or something.
Fleetwood Mac, yeah, definitely, Stevie Nicks, yeah, Fleetwood
yeah.
Mac. What was the group that got The Wall?
Oh, Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, definitely Pink Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff, and Led Zeppelin, of course. I had a couple of guys that they absolutely love Led Zeppelin.
I definitely get the love for them.
Yeah. No. I used to tell them, just honestly, I said, dude, see Led Zeppelin. I respect the musicmanship, the organization of the music.
This is all stolen.
Right. Right.
Well, I don't know what you're gonna say, but
Yeah. But the other guys, Ozzy Osbourne and those guys, or those metal bands.
Yeah.
They sound like they were in the studio on a set. Right.
Everyone just do what you want.
Just play what you want. That's what it sounded like. It's kind of like when I first watch football, and you hear hut and 9-10 guys jump on each other. And
exactly. I
said,
know
what kind
happened.
of sport is this, man? What kind of nonsense is this?
And that's funny. I guess that's true because I don't know. I guess I assumed. Because you didn't even watch football. Like,
no.
yeah.
Before I came here, no. I don't even know if I even saw it.
That's true. I never really had any association with football. Maybe basketball sometimes.
I would watch playoffs. I watch playoffs,
Yeah.
and I watch the Super Bowl, or we'd go to people's house for the Super Bowl.
Right.
But I was not a football fan that I would watch. Every I didn't have a team that I wore their shirts and I followed them.
We were very invested.
For every I was not. I was definitely not vested in that way.
Yeah,
I'm a cricketer, man.
Yeah. So that's a little hard to come. But you found your tribe of cricketers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You find a cricket tribe.
Yeah.
So
I was actually talking to Marcia. I was thinking it dawned on me right there. I was talking to her. I think you were somewhere. I was like, I've been coming here for 16 years, and I don't know how my dad found the only cricketers in the world. And also of Los Angeles, but I'm just like I got older and I get to go around LA and drive around and you do stuff. I've never really met a cricketer. I guess they're not really good at hey, I'm a cricketer, but and people with the accent, you know what I mean, and the people that are obviously cricketers.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more of you meet for one reason and then it. So I'll tell you how I get to play cricket here. So, my father and a couple other Barbadian dads, we went by their house. They had a house over in Compton. So there was one of the sons. His name was Steve Jones. He's passed away now. Good friend. And we were in the schoolyard. I just got here. We were in the Compton schoolyard. We were playing softball, tennis ball, cricket, and I was doing pretty well. And I go, "You can play." I said, "Yeah, I'm decent." And I go, "Oh no, you're not decent. You're good. You need to come and play for my team." So just going to their house, going to the schoolyard, playing, and then the son go, "No, you need to play." So I end up playing. One guy gave me a shirt, one gave me a pants, and I bought some rubber cleats from Big Five, and the rest is history.
Right. One of those things.
One of those things.
You're discovered. I mean, that's why you always say go do things. You know what I mean?
Get out there and do things.
You know what I mean?
Get out there and do things.
I hear the story about the Fresh Prince. Well,
he
went to some place.
Yeah, I could say, "No, man, I'm all right. I don't want to play in the cricket. I'm cool."
Yeah.
And then I probably wouldn't have started later, or I probably wouldn't have played.
Right.
But I was like, cricket, I could play.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. Because I wasn't doing anything on Saturday, and this is right in the middle of 1981 when I got here too. So when you ask that question, what made me come here? So still, at least on Saturday or Sunday, during that first year, I had something to do. Go out and play cricket all weekend.
Right.
So that was easy. But once I started school, in September, September 9th, 1981, I took 2 classes. I took Engineering 101 and some other technical drawing, because that was kind of my thing.
Right.
And then the same day I went to the job placement office, grabbed a piece of paper on the wall that says mailroom clerk. So the distance. So I rode from Valley College to Panorama City.
Wow.
Yeah. Going to Pierce is a track too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that Victory Run?
Yeah.
That's a ways down there. So it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of Oxnard and Fulton all the way over. And it's kind of like Home
Yeah.
was in the middle. Home was like Van Nuys
Right.
and Silver Street.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because like that's where we lived.
So I had to pass my house
Mhm.
after work to go to school.
Uh,
And this was on a bicycle, by the way.
oh. Okay, yeah.
This was on a bicycle.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I was annoyed while I was driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
before I had the car, I was going to Valley College on the bus, and that was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But I can imagine like biking.
Yep.
Man, that was yeah.
But shortly after that, within a year or less, I bought a motorcycle.
Right.
So getting around was a little easier, but country's got seasons.
Oh yeah.
It does get cold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know when you're ripping, through like it's cold outside and it's like December and you're on your motorcycle. Yeah, you're against the elements.
That is the moment where and back then we can come and go. Let me check my phone.
Oh, that's crazy.
And see what the weather is.
Yeah.
You leave and it'll be like this. You're in school, all of a sudden you look out, you goes, is that raining?
Damn.
And you got a motorcycle or a bicycle.
It just blows my mind. Like, yeah, exactly. It blows my mind that half the things like all the paying online and all that stuff like you either had to go to a place or you had to like mail it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Had to go to class.
Like, hey, exactly, had to go to the place.
I had to go to the place. There's no way around it.
That's crazy.
There's no way around it.
You had to make a day of it. You know what I'm saying? So you guys had like real complaints when it was just like, I can't do that. It's closed on the weekends or something.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. It was not easy.
What up?
Okay.
Deal with that.
Yeah.
So one angle's going.
Right. So those are some of the challenges, but I used to call it I used to tell people this story, and I call it the life of of the stupid immigrant, and not stupid, but stupid in the way that you're naive. Mm-hmm. You're very naive about how people about America, the underlying concept of how America operates. So a lot of stuff kind of just goes over your head. Mm-hmm. When you walk by and people press the locks on their door, and you're like, oh, it didn't mean nothing. Yeah. Until years later you go, wait a second.
Yeah.
Right. When people treat you in certain ways.
Oh, that's interesting. I was at it actually took me till the next day, but I was at Venice Beach in the morning, and I took the two dogs. Long story short is that like I lost Cinnamon and I was looking for it for like an hour, and I was freaking out. Like not like the sad thing is that I love that dog, and I was like, she's gone, and I miss her. But more I was like, I gotta explain this to like everybody, you know what I mean? And that's like my thinking when I have a passenger in the car and I'm driving. Like, what I'm saying? I don't want to go to, hey, I killed your son. Like, sorry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm like, dude, okay.
No.
But so I didn't want to think. But long story short, to relate it to the thing you're saying, I walked up to this white guy, and I don't have my shoes on. I looked a little scruffy because I was at the morning,
mm-hmm.
and like I was like, hey, have you seen a dog? And he looked like taken back, like, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I thought to myself later, and I was like, you probably thought I was homeless.
Yes.
Because there was like 100 homeless people because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Lots of homeless people walking around. And I was just like, oh my God. I mean, like, yeah. I had everything going wrong.
And see, like, and sometimes that naivety pays dividends because you kind of gloss over things.
Yeah.
But what happens is there's a lot more situations where you don't get the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. You don't get the services you need. You don't get the relations you need because people make assumptions about you, and they don't know. So as I came along, through the system, so to speak, went to school here, met people, and then take classes, understood the history, did political science, and I go like, this country is really something else.
Yeah.
So the more you learn, the more you like, you missed a lot, but at the same time you're hoping that your what you've learned and your intelligence tempers some of that potential anger about how people behave and how this society is in general. Mm-hmm. You realize that and I usually joke. I say to them, there's lesser minds. Mm-hmm. And you can't be bothered with lesser minds.
Right.
There's just too many of them. Or some people says, well, God must love stupid people because He made lots of them. Right.
Like, yeah, I understand. Like people are more. I don't know, like people have better aptitudes, to learn and stuff, but I pretty much just value people. Like you can tell when people aren't really trying to analyze like their lives
Yeah.
and like I don't know. I just make like if you're not trying to make that habit, then I don't want to really like
Right.
associate with you. Compare Barbados values to American values.
Ooh.
I know, good
Ooh.
ones.
I will even make it simple, really simple.
Yeah.
You've lived here for 5 years.
Right.
How many of your neighbors you know?
That's a good point. I like.
Was that 0?
Yeah.
Well, maybe 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even all their faults either.
No,
I'm over
right.
here like.
And you know me, I engage people.
Yeah.
But here, people are suspicious, less trusting. In some cases, for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they don't take the time to try to engage with people, get to know them, understand that, hey, you know what? We all go to Costco.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
We breathe the same air, we drink the same water. So how are we different?
That's exactly how I feel.
Right. So Barbados now, on the other hand, it's just like when I'm here and I'm talking to someone and someone says, hey, I can hear a little bit of accent.
Mm-hmm.
I never get that in Barbados.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
And for just a reason, probably when I'm there for a week or two, my Barbadian accent comes back quickly.
Right.
But everything about growing up in a culture, being born into a culture, you don't have to explain anything. No one's gonna ask you, well, where's the accent? Well, you got an accent too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not even, they can't even see you have an accent because it's not even really an accent. It's just how everybody speaks.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what makes the accent.
Right. But here, I've got, a few descriptors for, American society. It's kind of like, I don't know if you sense that. Most people in this country will do just about anything if they can get away with it. And it doesn't matter what religion or faith they have. They'll do just about anything if they thought they can get away with it. Like my grandmother now, your my grandmother, which is my mother's mother. I always describe her as she was a Christian 24/7.
Right.
Doesn't matter what day of the week. She wasn't just a Christian on Sunday. Everything she did was identical. She treated you the same way, consistent. She was completely consistent. To a fault, because her beliefs were strong. So I'm not even saying that her beliefs, from my point of view, were right, but at least I respected that she was consistent.
Right.
There's a lot of people here who claim to be Christian, and they're some of the most evil people that you can meet.
Right.
That's what's scary. It's like, so you're a Christian or you're a Christian affiliate.
Right.
I think affiliate is what you should, you should start qualifying things like that. You're a Christian affiliate. Don't say you're a Christian.
Yeah,
you're not really a Christian because you're selfish. You're racist. You don't have any empathy. You don't care about other human beings.
Yeah, usually a person's personality type, their Christianity makes them a worse of a person.
Yeah. So so it's pure hypocrisy. Not that there aren't people who follow their faith and are nice people, but there are also people who don't claim to have any particular faith are just as good.
Right.
In some cases better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So just the differences. I think if I have a friend in Barbados, a neighbor or whatever, I feel, absolutely.
It feels like a neighbor.
It feels like a neighbor.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's just a friend and an informant. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't.
Yeah. Like our neighbor here, Sam. Sam and Eva.
Right.
I thought they were really good. He'll come and hey, I want to borrow some tools.
Yeah.
Or he said, hey, I saw a package come and you weren't home. He'll keep it at his house till I get home.
Yeah.
Or he'll text me and say, hey, I did just deliver 2 packages for me. Just can you throw them around the side? Right. So there's an element of trust there.
Right.
Our neighbors here, to the right, we know them, we talk to them, but there's no real, engaging, in enough conversation to say that, hey, you know them, or hey, come over for dinner.
Right.
I was hoping to do that with these guys, but it's just different. Yeah. And it could be just the way how the fences are built too. We see them all the time, and every time I'm outside, if he's outside and I'm outside, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
And then you say, hey, did you see this, or did you hear that noise? It's just a little bit more engaging.
Are you saying like in Barbados is like it sounds like I could like walk. I could walk into my like. It just seems like there's more of like it's more like a communal. I want to stay away from the word family, but like you can probably just like walk into someone's house like like I want to say. I don't want to say unannounced either. You know what I mean? Actually, I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
If you grew up, and especially with kids, small kids, there was very common that like, for example, I got home, and the door was locked,
right?
And I just went next door, and the neighbors fed me.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like
right,
the neighbor.
Right.
Yeah. Like hey,
so that was very normal. I think it still happens. But with the children, people are very, very good with children. It's like, hey, they're people who would open bank accounts for complete strangers.
Right.
That kind of stuff. But here is it's and you can't just blame it on that. It's just different. Here we have Chinese, or I should say Asians. You got Armenians. You got Caucasians. You got Indians. You got a bunch of people who, and because some of them got different languages, you got Spanish folk, different languages. They don't communicate or they don't bother to, which is why whenever you see me like I know the garden over here. My experiences with Mexico and Spanish people has been 110% positive, and I know that feedback is because I take the time sometimes to engage them in Spanish.
Right.
Especially if their English is not too good. Right. And they're like, oh, your Spanish is very good. And I go, yeah, well, and one of the things that people like Asian guys says, well, what's your name? My name is Mike. I go, oh, please. What's your real name?
Miguel.
No. So I said, if you tell me your name is Mike, I'll never remember your name.
Right.
Yeah. But if you give me your real name and I pronounce it once, I will never forget it.
Right.
And that's how I like to to treat people. And guys remind says, I remember I talked to you. I remember your name, because you took the time to learn mine and pronounce mine. And what was that line about? People don't necessarily remember what you do for them, but they do remember how you make them feel.
All right.
I've learned to engage people on that level.
Best song and musician of all time. I know. When people ask me best of all time, I that's not fair to me because
no.
It's just like I'm not gonna say, I like Cheetos the best.
Right.
Like it's just like I don't want Cheetos all the time.
Right.
I know you might say Bob Marley, Tupac, and the third one, and then you're gonna say after because the ability to entertain and educate.
Right. Right. You've been paying attention.
Yeah, I'm always paying attention. Yeah.
No. I mean, what's the reason why people like a given song or a given artist?
I don't know.
Because that artist connects with them in on different levels.
Right.
So they sound that I like, that Casey and JoJo song called Life.
Oh yeah.
And it's because I mean me, I like lyrics.
Yeah.
So when I listen to that song, it just reminds me of so much, just listening to the lyrics. Black male in a family of three, been down on my destiny. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Man in the valley. Yeah, something about that. I don't know. I just can't remember how the verse goes, but
how did I get life? Life.
How did I get life? That was supposed. It wasn't like a soundtrack to a movie.
It was soundtrack to a movie Life with Eddie Murphy and and Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence.
It's interesting how those songs become hits.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good movie. But generally, as you recapped, you never forget. Well, I say I don't forget Stevie Wonder songs.
Yeah.
I don't forget Bob Marley songs. hardly ever forget Tupac songs. And yeah, you're hard, maybe Boogie Down Productions, some rap songs that have, there's very few rap songs
That was nothing.
that have lyrics in them that really tells you a story. If you look like Slick Rick,
Oh yeah. That was his whole thing.
storytelling, right?
Yeah.
That's his thing. I like that. You have to be clever. Nas,
Yeah.
you have to be clever. You have to be witty.
Oh yeah.
You have to be creative to put that together, and then put music to it. You're basically pulling that out of midair,
Yeah.
and you're putting it down, and then there's millions of people that like it.
Yeah. To me, Nas is like you can't tell me that because a lot of people you can't tell me Nas isn't smart because the whole song, I mean the whole album is just it's just a very observant
Yeah.
Ghetto person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just dang.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing is just
Yeah.
he paints a picture. I'm just wow, so many. I mean, and I'm trying to say there's so many people like Nas that it's just. I mean, you saw Nas in the street, you'd probably think just your perceptions would go wild. You'd be like, you'd probably, I'm in the hood right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but there's so many Nases out there.
Right. No, there's a Nas born every day in the hood.
Yeah.
There's a Tiger Woods born every day. There's even an Einstein born every day in the hood. It's that ability, that path, and that nurturing that not all of them get.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or they don't nurture those, I guess, their aptitudes.
Yeah, there's an Elon Musk born every day in the hood.
Yeah, I'm saying.
A lot of them don't make it to 15 years old.
That's sad.
Yeah. So it's one of the things that I realize, and you kind of look back on just where you were at different times in your life, and what sparks your curiosity. See, I had the ability. Once I left Barbados at 7, and I was in Virgin Islands for those 3 years.
Yeah.
Close to water all the time. I was always fishing.
Right.
Always walking in the rocks. Always in the mangrove. Had a little rowboat. I'd go in the mangrove, looking at fish, clear water, looking at the bottom.
Got a rowboat?
Yeah, just a little rowboat. Yeah. I can tell my mother at the time.
All right.
I borrowed a rowboat from this guy in is a place called Moorings where all the boats are kept. And he says, "Hey man, you can use your rowboat." And he says, "Be careful." He says, "Don't go past the breakwater, because then the tide is heavy, because you will end up."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. So he said, if you just knock yourself out.
Yeah.
And basically it's just a boat that was used, people would have their boat tied up, docked or moored, and it's just for them to get off the boat and come in and get some supplies and then go back to their boat.
Right.
So it's something similar to that. So overall, I've had those opportunities to immerse in that kind of stuff. Just curious. It's what's that? That's a snail. And I remember the governor gave me a book, and it was about all the animals in the Virgin Islands. Right? So the day when I showed up with a little brown grass snake holding it by his neck, and it was all wrapped around my hand like that. Yeah. And my mother is freaking out. She says, "You don't even know if that's poisonous."
Yeah,
I said,
"Yeah, I do." Yeah.
I do.
And it is.
And he was trying to bite me too, because he thinks I'm a predator. I'm going to eat him.
Yeah, I would think that too.
So I go, "Can I keep it in a jar?" She goes, "No. I cannot sleep with a snake in the house."
Some things I ask my mom, I already know and know is 6 miles away.
Right.
I know it's a no.
Can I keep it? No.
Yeah.
But she, so I knew different kind of butterflies. There were ground spiders, that had all the holes in them. If you remember that, Tortola.
Yeah. I don't remember really seeing them, but I know of them. That's creepy, man.
Yeah, ground spiders, West Indian red-tailed hawks. Just all the animals, different kind of fish, the pilot fish, red snappers, barracudas, sharks, just different things. I took the time to learn about, and literally even in Barbados, I can tell, just in terms of smell, sometimes if doves were living in a certain area,
Right.
or if pigeons were living in a certain area.
Yeah, they have a smell.
Yeah, they have a distinct.
Pigeon coopy smell.
Yeah, they have a smell to them. So those are all just interesting things, to pick up over time and learn about.
What makes a successful marriage?
Ooh, and the simple answer is love, respect, and admiration. That's the simple answer. Love, respect, and admiration. You cannot expect more than you put into it. And you got to realize that the day you get married, it's a complete union. There's no selfishness. What is mine is ours. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So
and what's hers is also hers.
Right. Yeah. That happens a lot. But if you do it right, if you met the right person, you do it right. Yeah. Well, you got a buddy look.
Yeah. Oh snap. Yeah.
I wouldn't say there's a magic formula, but I think overall, overall, you have to find someone that you connect with, and trust is vitally important, and you got to conduct yourself in that way. And like I said, I didn't always do that. One of the traps that I ran into was sometimes, so that you don't hear a lot of flap, you don't necessarily tell the truth.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, yeah, I'm not married, but I definitely understand that.
Don't do that. You say the truth. The truth doesn't change. I say, hey, you know what? Here's what happened.
That's a good point, actually.
It doesn't change. Truth doesn't change. So you just say it, get it, be done with, and move on. And you also make that clear. You say, hey, you know what? Whatever I tell you, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Yeah, you may not like it. It may be harsh, but here it is. And lastly, don't go to bed angry.
Yeah.
One of you might not wake up.
Yeah, why is that? What?
Well, I'm saying is if you go to bed angry, then you wake up. You wake up angry.
Right.
So you solve it when you go to bed. Go to bed with I love you, and mean it. And basically I think for the most part you're 70-80% there, but a lot of different things happen. When you in I remember beauty is skin deep. It's completely skin deep. So you may meet someone when they're 19, 20, maybe gorgeous.
Right. Yeah.
But
time.
Yep.
Time is a thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not looking around because I'm like bored. I'm just like, dang, these mosquitoes kind of coming out. So
yeah.
So I mean maybe like another half hour max. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I know this time of day, but yeah, I actually agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Honesty is key, but also be given. I don't.
Never give with the intention that you're getting something back.
No.
Anything in life, really.
And as a male, and I do it all the time too. Is I take care of, like, for example, how the inside of the house looks. Actually doesn't really matter to me.
I know. Tell me about it. I got a lot to say about that.
Yeah. It doesn't put it. I like the structure. I like the safety. I like the security. Just basically how things work. Solid things. What the blinds look like, I don't care.
Right.
I don't really care. So that's just me, how I look at it. I don't. I know you mentioned this before, but I check my wife's car. I check the air and the tire. I make sure it works, because if that works fine, I don't have to deal with potential problem while I'm in the middle of doing something else.
Right. Yeah. Well, I remember what I was saying earlier was like no one else checks it. It's just like I know the man in the house tends to be the only one who checks on that. Uh-oh. Right here next to me.
Yeah, that's a baby one. Yeah.
He probably will be on camera.
Yeah. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came right here. Look, by your shoe.
Oh, for real? I didn't even notice, man.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I was looking. I was like, dang, that squirrel must be really. And Dad's looking at it. He must be doing backflips.
Yeah, he was right here.
Must be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Doing something crazy.
And animals know who's kind and who's not kind.
Oh, yeah.
They know that.
Yeah, I always wondered about that. I'm just like, how does anyone really know? But I mean, I guess
they do.
you know.
They can sense that. They know. Animals know when to be fearful, not to be fearful.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. I have fed, squirrels at the park.
That's crazy.
Which is a bad thing. You don't want them to be too friendly with humans. Fed birds. They just know. They just
crazy.
know.
Yeah, they smell it. I mean, I feel that. I mean, because the thing is like, I mean, there's not a lot of animals that have been like, oh my god, like, or running away or scared of me. Mm-hmm. But I'm also not gonna go like around and say it's because I'm such a great person.
Right. Exactly.
But like they know who will probably try to cause them harm or.
Right.
I mean, if anything, I think generally animals are good at sensing anxiety and other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they say there's two organisms that can sense fear.
Yeah.
Bees and employees.
Customers too.
Right.
Yeah, but I feel that. Are you more like your dad or your mom?
Oh, I would say I'm more like my mother. My mother is she has a lot of people that she helps, and a lot of people look out for her best interests. A lot of people love her in many respects. I'll tell you a story. I remember I was going to Tortola. And my mother said, when you come in, bring some combs. I go, well, how many combs you need and what kind of combs? She just bring, 10, 12 combs. So I can't remember where we went to, if it was Target or whatever, but they had one of these plastic containers and had a whole bunch of different kind of combs, like Afro picks and whatever. I figure if she's coming here in Tortola, it's gonna be black people, so a bunch of combs. So I bought maybe 30 or 40 combs. And then I got there and I was hanging out with her, and she goes, "Hey, we going up the road, and we bringing the combs." She didn't tell me where she was going,
right?
But she took me to this this place. It was like an orphanage, all little girls, probably somewhere between 5 and 9. And I go like, "Mom, why am I the orphanage with girls?" She goes, "Well, you'll see." And she had me in there combing little girls' hair. And then all little girls ran over. "I want you to comb my hair." Wow. And for years they were sending me letters. Wow. And they're probably grown adults now, probably 30 years old. I was like, but she didn't tell me why. I'm like, no, I ain't doing that, Mom. But after I was there, like, okay. I was like, it's weird.
Sometimes I feel like if it wasn't for women, we would never do good.
No.
There'd be like no charity.
Nope.
There'd be like, there's no reason really.
We would do nothing. Yeah. Think about that for a second. Yeah. We would do nothing but hunt, eat, and kill each other.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you already kind of do that, but
right.
But like, no. It's a little, but I know exactly what you mean.
Wow. No. So. Yeah, she's and I do that. People. I have no 2 instances where a guy goes, I like that shirt. I say, sure, you like it? And I took it off my back, because I had an undershirt on. I gave it to him. Or he said, I want one of those. And next time I saw him, I brought him one. Like if it was a cricket or sports shirt, I just give him one. And I don't really think about that stuff until people tell me about it. Many years later. Many years later. I don't know, just kind of how I'm built. That's how I'm built. I don't, or I think the true pleasure of it is, and I'm trying to say this in an easy way. So one of the best feelings that you can possibly have is doing something for somebody and them not knowing.
Right.
It doesn't get better than that.
Nothing better for them. Nothing's better for them when that happens and they figure it out. Like, wait, he did that? You know what I mean?
Well, after they figure it out later, yeah. But you
but
do it for them. And you just do something for someone, and they don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You just watch. I was in Barbados once, and there's a little kid called Kimar. He was probably about 8 or 9 at the time. We were in the road, not like cricket, and they were playing the road, and so the kids are like, "Hey, you know what? Give me the ball." So I was bowling at him.
Oh, I think you told me this, but I don't remember what you're ending.
And I was bowling at him, and
something about cricket gear. But I'm sorry.
Yeah. So he was every time I bowl at him, he was playing all these shots, these cricket shots, and I go, this little kid just pounding me here. So it's a little faster. I'm finally a little faster, a few more steps, a little faster. And he just
kept hitting him.
This kid's got talent.
Yeah, you gotta do something.
I've never seen anybody, 7, 8, 9, really, just that kind of, that kind of cricket. So you're right. I eventually I won the trip to Barbados. I took him some gear.
Right.
So when I took him the gear, I knocked inside of the house where I was told he lived, and he came out. So I gave him the gear. And then later that afternoon, his mother came by. You've been to Andy Ruby's house,
right?
Up in Edie Village, and she goes, "Who gave my son this stuff?"
Yeah.
And I'm like crapping, like, "Oh crap, I messed up."
Gotta face up.
That seemed, in the United States, that's kind of a little weird,
Yeah.
You giving a little boy what for what?
Yeah. Here we go. But then she was like, "Wow."
But in Barbados, in that culture, I never even give it a thought. It's like I'm just
helping.
I'm just helping. So then I explained to her. I said, "You know what? You weren't home. And I'm not sure how long I was going to be here. So I just gave him the gear." And she goes, "I thank you."
Wow.
She goes, she says his father wouldn't buy him anything. And I was like, well, I don't really want to be his father. I don't want to get in between that. But I go, I said, I was playing in the road with him. He is super talented. And, I love the game and I like to see kids play. And to me, that was easy. Just bring him some of the stuff I had, buy him his own sides. Because, he didn't have any. So some things, just imagine that you wanted to play football and your parents couldn't afford any equipment. You can play. You're built like an athlete, and you got to stay on the sidelines and watch. And you probably never play after that. Some days you probably won't. If you don't even have the gear, you probably won't even show up. He was like, I'm not even going near that. I'm embarrassed. So he didn't have to be embarrassed anymore. He showed up in a full kit, right? Mm-hmm. So his confidence changed completely. Right. And I think he actually plays for the Barbados youth team now.
Amazing.
Yeah. He plays first class cricket.
It's crazy. That might not have happened without you.
May not happen. I mean, may not have happened, but
it's quite likely.
Yeah. But last time I saw him, he was playing for his school. Mm-hmm. Where Marsh used to live. I went across a school called Lesterville. And as I was walking across the school, a ball came and it hit the glass and broke the glass. I'm like, who's this guy? He had on the red helmet. Yeah. So I couldn't recognize him from a distance. And then after I was over sitting in the stands, and he came in, and he saw me, and I didn't see him, and he ran over, and he goes, "Mr. Cox," and he kind of gave me a big hug.
Wow.
He was my height.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's what happens.
Yeah. He was my height. He was big.
Man, he was like, "Thanks for everything."
Yeah, thanks for everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That feels good to me. That's better.
Yeah.
That feels good to me when I was working with the kids, like when I got
just, you change your life,
exactly. Some kid actually asked me when I was working, and he was just like, "Can I talk to you, coach?" And I was like, I don't know. That's where my mind goes all the time. Or my mind goes like this usually. I'm like, like another thing to do, more work, more like,
no.
You know what I mean? But he asked me, he was just like, I'm really scared with my life. I don't want to like have a job where I'm at a desk and I'm just like sad and stuff. And he was just like, I don't know what he was really asking, but it was more along the lines of like, I think, what should I do and how do I like avoid that? And I was just like, I'll be honest with you, John. I was like, I don't know, but I say, find something you like, and you're passionate about. But I don't know. And a couple days later, he was like very thankful for like, I think
just that conversation.
He's one like the consoling because I bet no one else would humor him. You know what I mean?
No.
Some of these kids, they really don't, especially the ones in the program. Some of them don't have a lot of support, or I mean, some people are even like, so neglected by their parents that's like the food we give out is like the food that they have for like hours.
Yep.
Like, they don't get food at home, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy. So, I thought that was crazy.
Wow.
So, what is legacy, and what would you like to be yours to be?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna be technical with the definition of legacy,
Mm-hmm.
but I know what you're asking.
Right.
Technically, my core family is small. Um, you know, just I got one brother now, and I got one sister. So my core family is very small.
Right.
I'm hoping at some point to change that family tree to a system where, you know, where success, or the understanding of how to achieve success, and success doesn't mean rich necessarily. I'll be happy with just the ability to build a school somewhere where people need it. I'd be happy to just those little simple things like I went to Ghana, and I took all those pencils and sharpeners and scissors and stuff like that to people who those are big deals. So the legacy is really a legacy of giving back. Just how do you give back, in a way that it's just beneficial to people who actually need it. I get calls all the time to go teach at College of the Canyons.
Yeah.
They don't need it. They don't need me.
Yeah.
If I got calls to teach, in Compton maybe, or South Central, sure, I'll take that deal, because I can add something to for them. College of Canyons, my students will be showing up in Teslas. So that's pointless. It's pointless. So how do you narrow those gaps in people's knowledge? How you narrow those gaps in people's ability to move forward? There are a lot of people who don't have to work hard at anything, and it's just there.
Like known as somebody that gives back. I don't know.
Just
pretty much
constantly, just.
Because like Jeff Bezos is like, I think his legacy is Amazon, but I'm not sure if he's someone that's like gonna be known for giving back. You know what I mean? Right. Necessarily.
Yeah.
But like at the core, because like that's kind of thing. You say you want like to build a school or something like that, but like the whole thing is like, you want to be known for giving. Some person like you're off at the park. We're at the park and you're I guess off talking to people some more, and some guy passed me. Was like, oh, you're Colin's son. I don't even recognize him, but you probably saw him.
Yeah.
You have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you have a great father, and I was just like, whoa, and I was just like, wow, and I said, yeah, I know, yeah.
Well, what I do is, because someone is a doctor, I don't treat him any different than a guy who's a janitor.
Right. I think I think it's sad that that's refreshing to people.
Yeah. I don't. I go sit down with the guys who are in the executive team. I'll go sit down with the guys over there who are the Jamaicans who are slamming dominoes.
Yeah. Carbon-based life forms.
And like I said, that's important. I'll if guys say, hey man, we want to have some drinks, I say, hey, let's pitch in, and I'll pitch in. I said, but you don't even drink. I said, well, you guys want to have a nice time, and you ask people to pitch in. I happen to be here. Whether I drink or not is irrelevant. Right. So I'll pitch in $10. Hey, go get the drinks.
Right. Or
I'll bring them something. So it's I don't know. It's just that how I see the world. So with those guys, and like I say, what you're talking about earlier, it's basically respect. So I treat them with respect. I don't look down on them, and I respect them regardless of what they do for a living or what they have. And like I said, I treat the other, I don't treat the guys who have a lot special. I treat them like they're just another guy. If you want to be treated special, then you probably shouldn't roll in my circle.
Yeah.
Because you have a Lamborghini, and you want to be treated special. You're probably not going to get that from me.
Right. They're not really giving you a real reason to.
Yeah.
My mom's like, give me a reason then, for me to treat you special.
Yeah. No, you're not going to get that from me.
Exactly.
So a lot of people, it comes up all the time. They say, hey, we need a match referee. We need someone who's fair. Hey, Colin,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
You know, because they know you'll do that. You know what I mean?
I'll do that. I don't care what team you're playing for.
Mm-hmm.
And he said I wanted to write up this thing for the umpires thing. Hey, Colin, can you help with this?
Right.
And I know it's going to be, you know.
Yeah, because I think you have that credibility. You know, like I think everything exists on credit in some form. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Social credit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, how credible is this guy?
Yeah.
You know, like his lies or truths. Like, you know, it's like they'll know that you'll be, you know, you won't be biased. You know.
Yeah, and Marcy's like that too. You know, we have people who literally you know, have us keep money for them.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, geez,
that's crazy,
isn't it?
yeah. I mean, that's not insane. Like, they crazy for that, you know. But that's you know, I can't think a lot of people that would even do that. Like, let me do that, you know.
No, and like I say, you know, you gotta have those people that you can leave your wallet at their house, you know, for a week,
right?
And you know that there'll be no issue,
right?
You know, so but you know, you and your brother were like that too. I mean, you guys, you know, I could say like you know, Orlando was said that dude didn't steal. You don't steal, and you always brush his teeth. All the other stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Right? I'm not sure. So I could, you know.
Exactly what I'm saying. There's a credibility. You know what I mean? I can count on these two things.
Yeah, he won't take your stuff.
Yeah.
And but you know, I remember telling you guys, you know, specifically, I said, you're gonna have everything you want. As long as you have anything to do it, you can always have everything you want. Everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
You have everything you need. Not necessarily everything you want,
right.
But everything you need, you're gonna have. So you know, and we'll talk about the wants.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, wants are definitely a different thing.
They're definitely different.
Different conversation. Most childlike quality you have.
Most childlike quality I have.
And like I guess the sub question of it, well, what takes you back to simpler times? I like that's cricket, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
well, childlike is also the ability to look at situations and have a great sense of humor about it.
Right.
You know, like
He's back.
Yeah, he's
trying to get some water, but on the sly, he
Yeah,
can't reach the pool because it's too small.
Yeah.